we look at the rich, thick grass in Missouri and just go, oh wow, what would that be like? So anyhow, you have to adapt to where you're at. And in Oregon, whereas it's known for its rain, we do not have rain in July and August.
Good morning.
Another morning.
Yeah, another morning. We're not necessarily taking you on chores today. That same thing we all do, because it happens every day, doesn't it, when you're on a homestead? But we are, and we're going to be showing some specific things about what we're doing, how we've been taking care of our animals, and what we plan to change in the future and why. And also seeking some input from people who have done a better job of keeping track of what you're doing. Because right now, we can do kind of a rough estimate on how much we've spent for our eggs, for our broiler chickens, and for our turkeys. And it's probably a fairly accurate number, but we realize that
We haven't done the chicken math.
We really haven't done the chicken math. And there are techniques to do it and so on and so forth. So we're going to show you what we are doing and how we're doing it, and then describe what we plan to do and seek some input from y'all about better ways to do it. So first of all, alrighty, so what we're doing is we have these scoops, and we've weighed them out on our scale. And when it's about this full, it's approximately 4 pounds of feed. And for our 34 broilers, we're doing 4 of these scoops. And as they've been growing, when they started with that, they wouldn't eat that 4 scoops in a day. They would leave a certain amount of it. We didn't really measure that. We just, on some days, didn't give them as much. So we, overall, we know how much is gone, and so we've been measuring. We bought this many bags of feed from the time we got the chicks until now. Therefore, per chick, it's this much. So that's a good number, but we want to know week to week, which week they're gaining how much weight, and that's what we're working on doing. So this is, we're going to see, because we gave them that much yesterday. We'll see how much is left over.
So one of our problems is, in July and August, in the Pacific Northwest, or at least in Oregon where we live, we do not get rain. And so we were not going to do broilers at all. I had them scheduled to come at the end of July so that it'd still be in the brooder, and they'd come out the first of, the last in August, and it would be fine. But we had some people that wanted to order some chickens, and so we were like, oh, okay, we'll do it. Well, so we put them on here, and you can see right here where Jim's walking that it's a little bit green, but then over here where we really have filled, it's not green. There's nothing there, and so it's a lot harder for them to forage when there's nothing here. Now they've already been here, and there was grass here at the time we put them here, but right here where I'll show you where they're going to, and there's nothing. So we really can't put them there today. I can move them up to here, and our goal is to get them over underneath these trees where it's nice and thick and green. So, oops. Wherever there's shade, it's green. Now, I grew up in Arizona, so wherever there was shade, there was dirt. But here, wherever there's shade, there's green. So right over here in this area is where we're heading them to. So we'll probably move this group up to this greener area. Tomorrow we'll move them to that one. And then they'll be under the green pasture. So that is one of the problems. If we had tried to do this when we were on our homestead in Utah, which was sagebrush, there's no way we could pasture raise broilers on desert and sagebrush. So we look at the rich, thick grass in Missouri and just go, oh wow, what would that be like? So anyhow, you have to adapt to where you're at. And in Oregon, whereas it's known for its rain, we do not have rain in July and August. So this plot right here is where they just moved from, and we moved them up to here, and we moved them onto a little bit of a grassy knoll. And we put 1 scoop in each one of their containers. They have 2 containers, and they still had food in there from yesterday. Really overcast today. It could defy us in rain. That would be nice.
Defy us, huh?
I just said it doesn't rain in July and August.
Comparison to what it did before. Okay. So we'll move this up there. Okay, kiddos, we're gonna start moving now.
Yeah, I just read that.
Let you know what's in that stuff. The quality of it, and then we're eating it.
Exactly. See you coming over here. So just pour this whole thing in.
Yeah, I use the scoop to help so I don't get it. Okay, fresh good food, fresh water.
Fresh grass.
What more can you ask for, huh? So there you go. That's our process. Our change that we're making is to keep track of exactly how much we're putting in, but also how much is left over when we add the new, and that way we can have a better gauge at how much they're eating over time. The other thing that we haven't been doing that come next Monday changes is we've bought a scale that we can use for weighing them here without having to transport them away. We can lay them right inside of their tractors here, and we'll have their weight on a probably weekly basis. I don't see a reason to do it
Well,
more
they
often
don't
than
have a whole lot of weeks left because they're
Yeah.
huge.
But we haven't been doing that right along. So right now, when we say they're huge, we don't know what that comes out to in pounds. But we need to know that before we process them so that we can also compare how much they're weighing on the ground as compared to when they are dressed.
Yes, and last time we thought they were huge, and we went and processed them, and they were 3.5 and 4 pounds, and so we really want them to be 5 to 6 pounds.
Yeah. So we need to know that. We didn't know that. We realized that. And obviously with the chicken math, what we're shooting for is to know this many pounds of feed created this many pounds of chickens, which lets us know by time of year, weather conditions, and breed of chicken, how things are working for us. And then when we're making decisions about when and how and which birds and which feeds and so on and so forth, we can use real numbers instead of these guess things that we do.